Hello, my name's Slime Time, and today we are looking at automation, or are robots taking your jobs? In 1799, a man called Ned Ludd was angry. He was a weaver by trade, making fabrics by hand, although a recent invention has made his job difficult.
Tell us about what happened overnight, Ludd.
I snuck up on the old mill up there, and I crept in the darkness, and I saw it.
What do you do? What do you do next, boy?
I took the hammer. And smashed it. I smashed it real good.
All right, calm down, boy.
I'm gonna smash them all. I'm gonna smash them all.
Calm down, calm.
The Industrial Revolution was a time when machines were invented that started to do labour, traditionally done by people. We've been using machines to help us do work for thousands of years, of course, from the hammer to the plough. But by using steam, we started to make machines that were more powerful than the human arm or the horse's leg. This had a massive impact on the way work was done. The story of Ned Ludd went on to inspire hundreds of others to take hammers to machines that replaced them. These people were called Luddites and organised between themselves to try and prevent industrialisation of their labour. Unfortunately, you can't prevent technological progress just by smashing up bits of stuff with a hammer and that now and then. So gradually, industry became more mechanised. So what is automation? Automation is the process where labour is undertaken by machines. This covers a wide range of things from cutting pieces of wood in a lumber mill to flying a plane in a plane. More recently, automation of other jobs is possible due to advances in artificial intelligence, machine learning, algorithms, all that sort of thing, as well as a lot of jobs being easy to automate due to their repetitive nature and reliance on computer systems, that kind of thing. For example, in customer service, when you're trying to talk to people about things going wrong with your things, a lot of the time now it's quite automated. You have to go on a website and there's all these kind of customer service bots, android cyborgs that are trying to help you, so it can be quite tricky sometimes. There have also been great leaps in the creative industries where AI can craft things from flat images to photorealistic people much quicker than it would take someone else to do. I used to think art would be secure from automation, whilst instead it's been one of the main focuses of how we can see the machine learning progress quite easily. Across many jobs we can see the potential for artificial intelligence to actually do the work, such as in the finance sector having AI that buys and sells stock when it reaches certain points, algorithms that can write legal letters for you, and robotic hoovers. So what isn't automation? Once upon a time, there was an automaton that played chess called the Mechanical Turk. This was back in the 18th century, around the time of Ned Ludd, so it's quite advanced that could build a robot at the time that could win chess matches against people. Except it wasn't a robot, it was a lad in a box underneath. This concept is still with us, as a lot of what can appear automated is actually done by people. Why bother making an algorithm that watches doorbell and security cameras when you can just outsource it to an office in Eastern Europe, for instance? Chances are you've already done some of this work yourself by answering those CAPTCHA questions. Are you a robot? You're basically helping train AI to drive cars and things, identify traffic lights and what have you. Amazon even have a service called Amazon Mechanical Turk, where people are paid less than minimum wage to help train artificial intelligence systems by labelling data, transcribing audio, that kind of thing. And also, why did they decide to call it Amazon Mechanical Turk? I mean, they're obviously trying to be clever, but it's a bit problematic, okay? Don't call it Mechanical Turk, call it underpaid ghost labour or something. It's worth mentioning we can also be under the impression a lot of work is automated because we don't really see the process. Food, clothes, computers, cups, whatever, it can all appear to have come off a production line because of how standardised it is and it all looks the same as one another. But most of the things we buy are put together by people. Often these are constructed and put together in other countries for a fraction of the price it would cost to pay someone minimum wage in this country. In sweatshops around the world, people are exploited with low wages and bad working conditions. Large sports companies will pay someone to make a trainer that's then sold to you for thousands of times of what it costs to make. Would it be better to automate all elements of this work? It exploits workers internationally through low pay and bad working conditions, but on the other hand, this work acts as employment that can support workers' families and local economies. So I think if we were to automate a lot of this sort of stuff, some systems should be in place that support people who've done that work previously. Imagine your boss called you in one day to tell you a machine was now doing your job and you had to be let go from the company. And not only that, but the work you do and specialise in is now automated everywhere, so you can't do that job again. Meanwhile, your boss is now continuing to profit from the job you did without having to pay anyone. What should happen? You might be thinking to yourself,
well, this will never happen to me, because there's no way a robot could do my job.
But is that necessarily true? Maybe not today, but what about in a few years' time? I remember seeing something online from a health and safety officer at a factory saying that their job was totally secure, a machine could never do it. But even if that was true, a health and safety person is looking after people, so if there's just robots everywhere, then what job do they have? It's called the butterflies effect. Though earlier I discussed how some of the work that appears automated is actually done by people, machines are continuing to advance very quickly. Whether it's through machine learning or advances in robotics, the widespread impact of automation on work is happening, and I think much faster than we realise due to the hidden nature of a lot of work. I think this will have a big impact on society, like bigger than coronavirus maybe. So millions could go out of work while profits will continue to increase for businesses that own machines that are now doing the work. And in the current way we think about money and wages, this would be bad. We'd end up in some kind of cliche science fiction style experience where people are rioting whilst business owners live in big dungeon factory castle things in space. I don't know. Either way, I'm guessing there'll be a group of people that are against automation, protesting about machines doing jobs and that work is good for you. I think we're going to see a lot more neo-Luddite type people about.
All I'm saying is, human jobs for human people, okay? Like, a man needs to work for a living. He needs to bring money home. What's next? A robot coming home to bang your wife?
Who knows? Personally, I like the idea of machines doing my work, so I don't have to, as long as I get paid for it. One idea is UBI, or Universal Basic Income, where everyone gets paid money regardless of their background. This would give everyone time to do other things like socialise, learn stuff, visit places, whatever it is landlords do all day. It used to be that children had to work in mills, but now the idea of child labour is a bit out of fashion. So maybe one day the same could be said for all human labour. I'd also see a key part of universal basic income as it is universal. Everyone in the world gets paid. It's good to redistribute the wealth and profits of all this labour that we've been doing and share it a bit. Sharing's caring. And if work is done by machines, the profits of their labour should be heavily taxed so that owners of robots don't end up as trillionaires while everyone else has nothing. As what would be the point in automating everything if people then couldn't buy the things that are being produced, and all of this process would just mean the rich get richer and make more money than they could ever spend anyway. Does Bezos' best robo make him a bozo because I said so? Yes. So other than redistributing wealth, we could also redistribute robots. Give every household a robot that they can send to do different jobs, then they collect money from the work. The robot gets to commute to an office and send emails all day, whilst you can sit at home watching through its eyes like that film being John Malkovich, except John Malkovich is made of metal. I think this goes close to how it will end up though, with people and machines working together in different types of roles. As a society, I think we've tilted everything towards labour, from the way we educate people, design cities, and even sort of aspects of morality and ethics. Some people take pride in the work and the feeling that they are doing something. So even if we were to say someone that they get the same amount of money and they don't have to work, they'd find this a bit frustrating. We need to look at the culture around work and give people tools to express themselves beyond labour. Curiosity, creativity, self-discovery, and community. There are many people that will never have the opportunity to think in these terms, but instead of such ideas being middle-class pursuits, these sorts of things should be accessible for all. Work itself isn't bad. Rather, it's just the entire way that we structure businesses, pay people, and the system that we live in. Some countries are starting to see the value in developing high quality products through artisan processes, or have been doing it for centuries anyway. They care a lot about producing things of good quality, nice things, nice quality, high things. So having industries like this in the UK would be better, I think, than going back to the old days of coal mining or standing on a production line all day. Actually making things that are good and something we can be proud of, rather than trying to compete with other countries through reducing wages or just pushing out large quantities of stuff. Get a trade under your belt. Whatever way it works out, I predict automation is a big deal. It has the opportunity to free us all from work and give future generations the chance to focus on other things, whilst also having the potential to be sort of ongoing economic disaster and the way people are driven further and further apart. I wonder which will happen. I wonder what will happen. Anyway, a lot of this is based a lot as well around the cultural aspects of how we see machines and labour. In other areas of the world, we have a bit of a different perspective on technology and industrialisation, robots, whilst we have Terminator 2.
Hello. Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault?
Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and maybe take some time just to imagine what your life would be like if you never had to work again. If you could just get paid, what would you do? Do you know? Because your life's your life. So have a good one, and I'll see you in heaven.